I bought this Radio Shack fog machine on eBay many years ago, and this wired controller is inconvenient to use with its 25-foot cord, so I'm going to convert this into a Bluetooth interface. For now, I just need to get a prototype tested, so I'm going to use this recently made ESP8266 wireless relay controller board, where I can hook up the fog control wires to the relay screw terminals. This site has a description on how fog machines basically work, and they usually have a 3-pin receptacle, but the way it basically works is when it's time to generate fog, either a manual switch is pressed or a timer circuit can control some other electronic activated switch, and it shorts 2 of these pins together. So I'll need to figure out which 2 on my unit need to be shorted to generate fog. One way to find out which 2 pins need to be shorted is to unplug the controller from the fog machine, then press all the switches that need to be pressed in order to generate fog, and just probe for continuity until you find the 2 pins on the connector that are now shorted. For this project, I just want to reuse my existing cable to plug into the fogger, and I don't want to just cut it for now in case I want to reconnect the original controller. So I'm just going to take mine apart and disconnect the wires from the inside and hook them up to the relay board. While I have this controller apart, I can just follow the circuit tracks on the board and see which 2 wires get shorted when the fog is turned on. So I'll tape off the extra wire that I don't need, and now I know what to connect to the relay. On that relay control board, I connected UART pins and 5 volts and ground to a header. So by using this header, I can connect a Bluetooth module like the HC-05 or 06 and control the relay with Bluetooth commands. The modules need a power supply between 3.6 and 6 volts. So this 5 volts here will power the module. Then I just need to connect the UART transmit and receive pins to the relay board. And these are 3.3 volt signals, so that can directly interface with the ESP8266 without needing level translation. The one thing to keep in mind, the transmit on the ESP8266 transmits out and is received on the receive pin of the Bluetooth module. The Bluetooth transmits out and connects to the receive on the ESP8266. And looking at the schematic for the WeMOS D1 Mini module, the ESP8266 primary UART pins connect up to the onboard USB interface. So to avoid any conflicts in the wiring between this USB chip and the Bluetooth module trying to talk to the UART, I made a note here that I'm actually connecting transmit and receive up to these alternate UART pins. So then in a sketch I can call serial swap, and the ESP8266 will use these pins, and then I don't have a conflict with the onboard USB chip. In order to test this out, I'm just going to use a Bluetooth terminal application that I download to an iPad, and I tried a few different ones. I basically just need something that lets me connect to a module and then open a terminal where I can send and receive characters. And from an Arduino sketch perspective, all we're doing is looking at the serial port for a string of characters that I set up, and I turn the relay on or off when I see what I'm looking for, and I can send a status message back if I want and see that in the Bluetooth terminal. So the Bluetooth module is going to be wired up on this UART header here, and when it receives commands, the ESP will turn this relay on or off and control the fogger. The relay is on pin D5, and I'm also using the built-in LED on the module as an indicator. So when I power up, I turn off the indicator and the relay. And the Bluetooth module that I'm using at least communicates at 9600, so I open a serial port with that speed, and then I immediately swap those TX/RX pins to avoid conflicts with the onboard USB chip. The way I set this up, I just look for a string fog0 to turn the fogger off, or fog1 to turn on the fog. And the way that I signal from the Bluetooth terminal that I've entered a command like this, I end the string that I'm sending with a hashtag. So I'd really be sending fog0 hashtag over Bluetooth. So in the loop, I'm continuously checking if there's any characters in the serial receive buffer, and if so, I'll start adding them to this data string, and when I receive the hashtag, I'll take a look at the overall data coming in and see, did I receive a fog0 or fog1 string? And if so, turn the relay on or off as needed, and I just print out that fog is either off or on back to the serial interface. So this goes back to the Bluetooth module, and I can see these messages in the terminal to confirm the command was received. I turned on the fogger, and we can see there's a little bit of fog coming out, so it's on standby. And the long original cord for the controller is now connected into the relay on this board, and the Bluetooth module is hooked up to the UART, and the LED is blinking to show that it's ready to pair. So I just downloaded a random Bluetooth LE app, and when I run it, I can see BT05 as the module right there that I can connect with. And I don't exactly know how to use this, but I figured out if I go here and then into the terminal, I can enter ASCII commands. If I type fog1 to turn it on and pound to show it's a command, I can send this when I click send. So I'm going to press this and hope for the best. Here we go. There it is. How do I stop? Now I'll send fog0. We can see the message came here, fog on. So fog0. And now it's stopping. And fog off was the message that came back to confirm we're no longer activating it, and it's just idling again. It got cloudy in here. Now I don't have to deal with a 25-foot cord like it's 1998.